Hey everybody, it's Stefan here on genderqueerchat. We're in the middle of a pretty icky storm right now. Gross. So hopefully I can get this uploaded without the computer being all crazy. Yeah, so I'm filling in for JT this week. We switched days, so JT will be back tomorrow, and you get me for today. Okay, so this week's topic is trans enough. Where does genderqueer fit in with LGBTQ politics? So, a lot of times it can be difficult to be genderqueer because you don't fit in anywhere. When you're with non-trans people, they don't quite understand why you're not just happy being, why you're not happy just being the gender that you were assigned at birth. And then when you're in a group of trans people, there's pressure to be trans and to transition and go through all the steps of transition. And a lot of trans people that I know online and stuff like that really do reinforce the gender binary and get upset if you lump trans people into the gender variant category. There's plenty of trans people who do see themselves as other or non-binary or non-normative in their gender appearance, but there's also a lot of trans people who just want to be a regular guy or a regular girl, whatever that means. So, so yeah, it's a little bit tricky in terms of just trying to be yourself in all situations. For me, being both genderqueer and trans, like, I find myself having to, when I'm in trans situations, whip out the genderqueer thing to kind of show how I'm not like other trans guys that I know. And then when I'm with genderqueer people, I kind of have to whip out the trans thing to show that I'm not really the same as them. So, I don't know, instead of, maybe I just like to be a special, unique little snowflake, but, I don't know. I feel like the two are kind of at odds sometimes, but they also coincide, because I don't think I could be just one or the other. Yeah, and I mean, if you're just talking about my gender specifically, I think I'm more genderqueer than I am trans, even though I'm medically transitioning. Yeah, so it's a little complicated. Genderqueer people have always been included in LGBTQ politics, but not like in an explicit way, I feel. Most gay and lesbian people who are targeted for stuff are not targeted due to the fact that they're sleeping with people of the same sex or gender, but because they're non-normative in their gender appearance. Lesbians who are like targeted for harassment are mostly butch lesbians, and gay men who are targeted for gay bashing are mostly effeminate men. So whether or not they identify as genderqueer or use that word, most gay and lesbian politics is based on gender appearance. So to an extent, it's been included all the time, but not actually given a name. And that's why it's so important when you're trying to get inclusive anti-discrimination policies and stuff like that to not just have gender, but have gender appearance or gender expression written in there, because most people aren't discriminated on based on their gender. It's their gender appearance, how they look, if you can't tell what gender they are. And the real problem with including genderqueer people as an identity into LGBTQ politics is that it basically defies this institution that humanity has had since, I don't know, long time. That there's men and that there's women. A lot of other cultures have a set place for people who are not men or women. Native American, third gender, or two-spirit, a lot of cultures, indigenous cultures around the world have specific places and roles of respect for people who don't fit the gender binary. But in Western civilization, somehow we like our categories a lot more and don't allow for that flexibility in gender, so it's a lot harder for people who are gender variant to exist in our society. So, I don't know, I feel I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but I mean, as far as the future of LGBTQ politics and being genderqueer, I think that it's really important to educate people about what it means to be genderqueer. So everybody on this channel is doing that, and everyone who subscribes and everyone who passes on videos to their friends or decides to come out, or not even using the word genderqueer, but trying to explain why the stereotypical categories of male and female don't fit everyone and should be expanded or done away with altogether. Because, I mean, really, what does it really matter if you're a guy or a girl? Like, every single form of identification we have pretty much has an F or an M on it. But, I mean, how much does that really matter? I mean, we can't even define gender or define sex. Like, so, I don't know. It needs a lot more discussion, a lot more deconstruction, a lot more thought, and then a lot more action. Getting gender-neutral restrooms, gender-neutral housing on campuses, all sorts of things. So yeah, talk about it. Try to make some positive change, and don't feel that you need to be drawn into the binary. Even in trans groups, don't feel that you need to go down that path if that's not your path. Don't let other people define who you are. So, I guess that's my advice, and I will talk to you guys next week. Alright, bye.